All right, we're rolling.
Okay. So today,
from the Fernando and Freddy show.
Why isn't my name first?
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Readit On Reddit. I'm Fernando.
Freddy.
What are you laughing at this time?
Because you were like, I was like, you did something that was just really funny right before you clicked the live button. You always do that to me. These people think that we're pretending to laugh, but we really are laughing about what happened just right before we hit live.
Hey Freddy.
Yes.
Do you want to know something really mysterious?
Have you seen mysterious happening?
All right. So, anyways, you guys, welcome back to another episode of Readit on Reddit. Today I have another AITA. Am I the a-hole? Okay, so am I the a-hole for telling my best friend she can't move in with me unless she has a job? Okay, so backstory. Both are girls, 22 and 24 years
Fernando?
old. Yes.
Can I move in with you?
No. Do you have a job?
No.
All right. So, both are girls, 22 and 24 years old, best friends, 9+ years. So she goes on to say, I live in New York City and she lives elsewhere. Okay. So she wants to move to New York City because she hates her current city and job. She is depressed and her mental health is suffering. She would need to sign a lease. We're in a 3-bedroom by June 1st to be our third roommate for July 1st. And the landlord said since she is the third roommate, she doesn't have to meet the requirements for the income since we both already do. I told her I will not let her live with us unless she has a job. I trust her, but there is simply a huge risk. We're about to go into a huge recession and moving to one of the most expensive cities in the country with a few grand in savings and no job is simply reckless. She's upset with me. Am I the a-hole for telling my depressed friend she can't be my roommate? So this was posted on the 21st of April. So it's during all the corona virus outbreak. Everything's going on. New York City is shut down, right? So what do you think? Because Freddie, I will tell you this right now. No matter what, you don't have a job. I live in New York City. You want to be my roommate? Find a job first, especially with all this. I mean, if it was something else going on, like,
find a job if you're not there,
right? If it was business as usual, that's one thing, right? But with the coronavirus, come on, how are you going to find a job?
Well, it depends on what you're doing, though, because Amazon is hiring 50,000 people. They've already said that.
In New York?
Yeah, they have a plant in New York, but they have a plant everywhere, Amazon. But I would say, because this is like, let's say you're like, Freddie, you live in your penthouse on 5th Avenue, and can I come stay with you in your mansion? And I would say, Fernando, I'm giving you 2-3 weeks. If you can find a job in that time, you can stay. If you can't, then you're going to have to leave.
But that's not what's being said. So when she moves
in, but that's what I'm saying. That's what she should have done.
Oh, but
they could have let her stay for 2 or I know, but they don't. If they can afford to keep that room empty for 1 month, even if she could pay something, that would help already. So they could have done that, and then they could have said, "Hey, you can stay." I mean, obviously, it's going to be difficult because the roommate is not her best friend or her friend at all. So, but you could say, if you can come and you can find something in 2-3 weeks, then you know you're going to be able to stay and survive. If you can't find anything in that time, then you're not going to make it in the city. Because that should be a 3 weeks.
So this is where they're coming into. So they're moving into this apartment, and they're going to sign the lease on June 1st, and they're going to move in first. So what she was saying is, she's going to fill the room, but her best friend wants to move in there, right? So
yeah,
I don't believe they live there yet. Just from like reading, it doesn't look like they live in that apartment yet.
But then they would have the money already. So if the best friend could come in, because the best friend doesn't meet the requirement, so the best friend can come in and be like, hey, because I imagine that place is probably going to be like 10 grand a month. So if the best friend can come in and here's 3,500 or whatever, or even if 2,000, give me 2 weeks, give me 3 weeks. Max.
Well, she has money in savings. So, she has the money in savings, but it's not like she can go in because she already signed the lease. So it's not like they can just replace her. All three of them are signing the lease.
Well, no, but you can replace a roommate on a lease. I mean, that's no problem. You're not giving up the apartment. Yeah, you can. I've had
what
friends
if they can't find somebody else to move in on that short notice and then they're out on the money?
Well, if they're already signing something, they already went into it without having a third person. So they should already be able to afford it.
They're signing the lease on June 1st.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So they've already gone
it's April 22nd right now. So they're not signing that lease yet, until they still have a whole other month. To sign. Well, so they're probably
I don't understand how they could even get that. How could they even get that far unless they can afford it? Because you do the background check way before that.
Just because you can afford something doesn't mean that you want to go into a lease with somebody, and have your friend say, "Sorry guys, you know what? I'm out of savings. I can't find a job, so you guys are stuck paying an extra $1,000 this month." Just because they've already
essentially done that though, because they're just two getting a 3-bedroom, so they've already passed all the requirements. I know they're not living there yet, but you still have to go through the process before you can even get to being able to sign the lease, because there's obviously someone occupying the place. So they've already gone through the background check and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So then they should be able to afford it at 2 already.
But just because they can afford it, they don't want to. So they're saying they're going to rent that third room. And the best friend is saying, well, I want to be your third roommate. But just because you can afford it doesn't mean that you're going to give somebody a free ride.
Well, it's not a free ride. 2 weeks to find a job and willing to, if the person was willing to give you some money or just said, give me just 2 weeks, because I mean, she could be staying there while they're still looking for a roommate. That doesn't stop them looking for a roommate. And they can be like, hey, we've got a person here who's ready to sign. Either you have a job and you can sign, or we're going to take this person, you come in. I mean, that's the logical thing to do.
But
as long as the space is empty.
But what you got to look at too is she just moved here from another state or another city. So she brought all of her stuff. She hired a moving company or moved herself. All of her stuff is here. So at that point, where is she going to go? She already moved out of her place. She already moved out of her place.
That's her problem. That's what I'm saying. You give her the 2 weeks. And if she can't find anything by the 3rd week, you got to say, okay, it's time for you to go, because even though I can afford the place, I don't want to go into my own savings. I mean, the best friend should know that already. Like if it was you and me and I'm like, Fernando, we have this place. I have another friend who wants to come in. We're going to give them 2 weeks. We can afford it together. I'll even chip in more to cover the missing half.
What you need to think about is, though, that say you and I maybe our income qualifies, because you need I believe your income needs to be 2.5 times. I don't know about New York, but California, they usually say 2.5 times the rent. So, if the rent is $1,000 a month, they say that you need to make, $2,500 a month. Well,
and that's what if most people don't?
Well, what if you and I qualify for that? Say the rent's $10,000, for example, right? Well, that's a lot, because you were saying that. I don't know how much the rent is going to be, but whatever the case
in New York,
is,
it'll be $10,000.
So if it's $10,000, maybe they say you have to make double the rent. So $20,000 a month, which sounds like a lot of money. But at the same time, what if they have other bills that they're paying too? So yes, they qualify for it, but what if they're also paying student loans or, credit card debt or other bills that they have? I don't think they have a car payment, but what if they have all these other bills that they're paying? So yes, they can afford the apartment because they meet the income requirements, but what if they're just sliding by or just skating by? What if they don't have that extra, whatever the rent is going to be for that third room, that they could just, disposable income? What if their money's already, going towards certain bills or certain things?
Okay, sorry. I just did a quick search on average price for 3-bedroom New York, $8,566 a month.
That's a lot of money.
That's New York City.
Right. So and I was reading. What's that?
No, go ahead.
Oh, so they're not giving her that ultimatum, like, okay, you can come move in, if you find a job, within 2 weeks. They're not telling her that. She's pretty much saying, like, you need to find a job. But at the same time, I wouldn't do that. No way. Because you let somebody move in for 2 weeks, so say she moved in July 1st. Where does it go?
Say, hey,
Freddie,
she can.
You have to. The way that it works with like an apartment is you have to give a 30-day notice before you move out. You still pay rent.
Yeah,
So
but
she
I'm
gives
saying
her
is
30-day notice.
you could store your stuff somewhere and you could say, "Hey, give me 2 weeks to find a job." I mean, I I I would never say move somewhere before you find a job. Find the job and then move there. Yes.
Right.
But
But at the
in a
same
place
time,
like New York City, when you're going to go on interviews, you can't. You have to be there to get the job. So
right.
it's like that catch 22. She has to be there to get the job.
Mhm.
So she doesn't have to move in necessarily, but she can stay for 2 weeks then.
Right. But what are they going to do? So she moves in. She has her savings. So she says, "Oh, I can move in because I can afford it for 3 months." Right. But at the same time, who's going to give her a job right now? All these companies are closing up,
Maybe,
shop. All these people are going
but
unemployed. What's that?
yeah, but there's still jobs to be had. Maybe she's a nurse. Maybe she's a doctor. Maybe she's working in finance. I mean, these are jobs that are still going to be going on. I mean, not every job is ending. The lower, like we spoke earlier about, restaurants are going to be harder to have jobs in. Um, entertainment venues, movies, a lot of the lower end jobs are going to be much more difficult to hold on to right now, because if people aren't going out, people are not eating, then yeah, then they're not going to have these openings. And if they're going to do that whole social distancing, um
Well, she said that she wasn't happy with her current job or, her current living arrangement, right? So it doesn't sound like she has some sort of
yeah,
like a nice career that she can just like, go into like a nurse and go and, move to New York and, have that same job. But so what it kind of sounds like is that, she's expecting to go there to New York, rent this room with her best friend and, spend her savings, whatever, to pay the rent and to pick up a job in a month or so. But I don't think that anyone's going to be hiring, all these people that have already been laid off, all these people who are being fired, all these businesses
yeah.
that are closing, they're not going to have like, little
Well, there's
retail jobs like to fall back on.
the Walmart and Amazon are hiring right now.
Right. But in New York City, like, do you think that
Yeah,
there
there's a
is
Walmart
a
right there
Walmart?
yeah, there's a Walmart in Jersey City.
New York City, not
I,
Jersey City.
yeah, it's just over the river.
Right.
So you could
And,
take the
like
subway and a
wherever
bus.
the Amazon is, how much are you going to make at Walmart? How are you going to pay? You're not going to make $2,000 a month, like working Walmart customer service. Like, and even if you, that's more than that because you said 8,000. So for six,
Eight
seven,
thousand five hundred sixty
you're
six.
looking, you're looking at
Oh yeah,
close to three
that's
grand a month rent.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Did they say New York City, or they just said New York and we
New York
assumed it was New
City.
York City?
She said New York City.
Yeah,
Like it'd
but
be
I wonder if
impossible.
they say New York City and they mean New Jersey, because some people will do that. It's like everyone lives in a richer area when they're just like a few miles away.
I don't think she would. I don't think she would put this Reddit on here saying I live in New York City, asking people their opinion if she didn't live there.
Yeah. Um, I don't know. I would tell her, okay, then to keep your friend and not throw your friend on the street who really wants to try to be in the same city as me, I would say come for 2-3 weeks and try to find a job during that time. But we're not going to rent you anything until you have a job, but you still can come and
Yeah,
look for the job. So if you can find the job and then you can be able to afford the place, then it's yours. But we're
but
still going
what's
to be looking for a roommate during that time.
but I think
Because
what's
I mean,
hard too is that you have to put in your 30-day notice. You have to put in your
hold
two
on,
week
hold
notice
on.
at your job.
But I just realized we both skipped over one whole thing.
What's that?
Who's trying to move during this time?
Right.
Because
Well, that's
literally,
what I'm thinking too. And I
there's a
think it's
place
just
by
that she's
me
so
that.
like her mental illness is. What's that?
No, go ahead. Did you say her mental illness?
Oh, you were saying there's a place by you that what?
Oh, that's for rent, and it's been for rent since January.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess we're only in March or April. So that's
Yeah,
3
but we're
months
going
still.
into
But
May right now. No one's.
yeah.
I mean, the quarantine here is not over till the middle of May. So no, who's moving during this time now? No
Yeah.
one.
I don't know. And there's some people that are, but I think she's just so maybe she's stuck at home and she doesn't like the people that she's living with. I don't know. But I don't think that you're going to be right now. I don't think that people are doing interviews. I mean, okay,
No,
like you
they
said,
are.
Walmart or Amazon. you know,
No, but they are
these
because
other companies. But who's gonna be hiring somebody right now? Because they're all these companies are laying people off and firing people, and doing
what?
furloughs, or temporarily suspending people's jobs. I don't think a lot of companies are even doing hiring right now.
No, that they are still doing hiring. There was a few apps that I'm on that in my job searching, and one of them posted on because I thought today I'm like, no one's looking for. Oh wow.
What?
Um, because I'm on this job. I have this job application where it tells you how many people have looked at you. Speaking of which, ironically, literally, I opened it right now. That's why I said, "Ooh, wow!" And because it shows you how many people looked at your profile and your applications. I haven't really sent anything for the month of April, but right now to I shot up 30 views. Literally.
I wonder what kind of people are looking, or who's
Well,
out there looking right now.
Well, they posted on the app. They said that a lot of people are not really applying because everyone thinks that no one is hiring, and they said that no, people are still actively recruiting for jobs, and they're doing interviews over the internet, and they're doing remote. If it's a job that can be worked, the pre-production can be done remotely as long as you have a computer and like any videoing app. You can still be doing the research in the research part of the job. And even I've seen somewhere that they're wanting people to just shoot with their own families to make up the footage for certain shows. Like they were looking for directors who had kids and for children's programs, and you would literally just use your spouse and your child and shoot whatever that segment was for. And they were looking, and literally said in the thing, looking for all types, all diverse families, because it's impossible now to shoot with kids because of the coronavirus, and they're doing a lot of children's programming still, especially now with all the kids stuck at home. So there is a lot of people still hiring.
Well, this is one of the comments from that thread. So I live in New York City. Is she ready to fork over half of her income for rent each month? And what job is she even going to get here? Most New York-based industries that are most New York industries that are conducive to working from home, media, advertising, finance, nonprofits, are in the midst of massive layoffs, and there are no customer service jobs to fall back on. When that does become an option again, the competition for those jobs is going to be absolutely insane. So I think this person's even kind of like,
well, the competition is always going to be insane for those jobs, but that said, that's not true, because I work in entertainment and I see jobs by major companies. Like right now, I want to say in the past week, I've seen NBC is still hiring.
But you got to think too, like this girl that's coming in, she doesn't work in entertainment. She's probably gonna be looking for.
That's just an example of that. Businesses are still hiring. Things are still going on. There's still things that need to be done. But again, like I said, it's going to be those lower end, lower spectrum jobs that don't pay as much. That we don't necessarily know if she's going to be looking in that sector, but I mean, I'm assuming she's not looking in that area. I mean, she had money saved and she had money to pay for a moving truck and all that stuff. So she obviously makes more than a fast food worker. So I guess we should already cut that out. So maybe she's working in human resources.
Yeah.
Or IT. Those jobs are still going to be working.
Yeah, but and at that point, why would this girl even have to worry about this? Why wouldn't she say, okay, well, my friend's looking for a job already, it's not going to be that difficult. Why is she feeling like the a-hole then? Why is her friend making her feel like that? Why isn't her friend just taking the initiative to look for a job if it's going to be that easy for her to do?
Because I would feel that well, New York is a hard city already, but I think it's just the fact that it's your best friend. Like if you came to me and you're like, Freddie, you've got a 3-bedroom house you're going to move into right now, and I would love to move in with you into the 3rd bedroom. And I'm like, no, Fernando, you need to find a job first. I would feel bad because I'd be like, instead, I should just be like, yes, go, because I would imagine you obviously already know you're gonna have to pay your share. You already know all that stuff. So to automatically just tell your friend no it's hurtful. It's your friend.
But
it's your
don't
best
forget,
friend.
Remember this, though. The story started out saying that she suffers from mental illness, and I believe it was depression. She wants to move to New York City because she hates her current city and job. She is depressed and her mental health is suffering. So I mean, a lot of times too, what if she's just, what is that tunnel
because
vision?
of the job?
Yeah, she's like, you know what? I can go there. It's going to be fine. I can find a job. It's not going to be that hard. I can live for 2 months. I have money in savings. It's not going to be a problem. Blah, blah, blah. Well, and then by the time she gets there, I mean, granted, that's July. So, I mean, it's 2 months away.
She falls into a depression and it's not a manageable depression. Then that could be a very difficult situation. And there also is the roommate to deal with. But then again, if I was the roommate, I wouldn't necessarily want to be with 2 people who are best friends, because then it's going to be 2 against 1. So
who knows, what those, roommates are, and the other roommate who she is, maybe they're a good friend too. They could all be a cute little 3 friends. But I don't know. I think that's a tough one. I guess you and I are going to have to disagree on this one.
I guess, but that this is going to be, for our friendship, Fernando, this is going to have to be an agree to disagree.
Yes. Here, let's shake on it.
Oh wait, I should shake like this. No, you have to keep the other opposite one.
Weirdo.
Yeah. Here, don't say weirdo. I say weirdo. You wouldn't even let me move to New York with you. How could you say something like that? I'm going to be homeless, Fernando, if you don't let me move in with you because of... Well, no, I better...
Let's wait for production to start back up and we'll talk again about it. Let's reconvene middle of June.
You're so mean, because that's when it's supposed to start back up too. Well, this has been another Reddit on Reddit with Fernando and Freddy. Let us know what you think in the comments. Are you Team Fernando? Do you think that we have to think about the economy and what's going on right now, the current situation? Are you Team Freddy? It's my friend first above all else. I'm not going to let Fernando on the street. Fernando's going to stay with me. He's not going to necessarily sign the lease, but he can still stay until he finds a place on his feet. Because I couldn't let someone on the street. Let us know what you think
in the comments down below.
And click the notification bell so you know that we're putting out a new video, and subscribe if you enjoy what we're saying, and give us the thumbs up if you enjoy, or give us the thumbs down if you don't think we're any good.
And you guys, we are trying to get up to our 55 subscribers. So
hold on, I'm going to do the 5 and you do the 0. Oh no, you do the 5 and I do the 0 because you're
5. So 55.
Oh, okay. We're going to get to 55, please.
Okay. So, we'd really appreciate it. Just hit the subscribe button. And watch your numbers climb. Thanks, you guys. Appreciate it. Thanks for joining us on another episode of Reddit on Reddit. Brought to you by the Fernando and Freddy Show.
From the Fernando and Freddy Show.
Why isn't my name first?